The Ohio State Buckeyes just got a double dose of good news. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron.
I'm Paul.
And we're the Big Ten guys on the daily talking Big Ten sports, football, basketball, whatever, rumors, insights, analysis right here. Don't miss out. Paul, tell them what they got to do.
Got to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and get those alerts on. You're not going to want to miss what we have to say this summer.
Don't miss out. So we're going to jump right into it. Jeremiah Smith, an absolute dog. You guys already know that. You've seen him play. The whole country's seen him play. But this is even crazier. This is one of the first parts of the good news that Jeremiah Smith just had to let everyone know. And that's the fact that, and this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't think a lot of people understand how wild this is. But coming into Ohio State, he weighed, I'm going to say 205 pounds because it sounds cooler to say 20. He had a 20-pound just net muscle gain, which is crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. So going from 205 to 225, having the second lowest body fat percent on the team, meaning he's absolutely just shredded ripped. Again, we already know that. Look at the picture, no surprise. But on top of that, 225, he is pushing 225 on bench for 20 reps, which is crazy. And let me tell you this, we already know in the draft, a lot of wide receivers opt out of doing bench press because a lot of those guys are like 180 or around that, maybe weigh a little more, but they're not moving the weight.
There's linemen that aren't doing 20 reps at the combine. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy. And then on top of that, 22 miles per hour in a game. So being able to do those things are wild. Now, Paul, I know you have a crazy, and I'm not crazy about the comparisons, but just hear this one out. Paul, let us.
So I remember watching him last year. A lot of people were looking at him like, gosh, this is like the reincarnate of Julio Jones. And so I was like, I wonder what Julio's size is. His prime size was 6'3", 220. So this is grown man in his prime. Julio Jones was 5 pounds less than Jeremiah Smith is as a sophomore.
Crazy. And we all know what Julio Jones did at Alabama and then in the NFL. Crazy. So Jeremiah Smith literally just proving everyone that he is everything. He is absolutely everything. And that's coming from a guy who's a Michigan fan.
I hate to give anyone on Ohio State any credit, but like this guy scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah. Best player when it comes to, well, we'll get into that in a second. But anyways, Jeremiah Smith, absolute dog. Listen, I'm not pushing 225 for 20. Maybe one day. Who knows? On the juice. If I get on the juice. Anyways, the other good news is he came out and said, "Listen, I'm not a sore loser. We all know that, but we're not gonna lose to the Wolverines or the team up north again. That's not gonna happen in his 2 remaining years, which we all know shouldn't be surprised by the fact that he's not going to be staying probably for a 4th year unless the money is unreal, which he's going to bolt for the NFL. But again, Paul, as a Michigan fan, how does this make you feel coming from, I would argue, the best player in college football on the team that just got out of winning the national championship, just came off winning the national championship? What are your thoughts?
I mean, personally, I hate to hear it. If this is Ryan Day coming out and saying it, I'm laughing. Because I don't respect Ryan. I mean, he's a national championship winner. I don't want to dog on him here, but I'm laughing at Ryan Day. But a guy who just put on 20 pounds of muscle and he already was the best player in college football. My hope is that he's spending his summer drinking and getting into trouble and coming in out of shape, being
like a Georgia player, speeding, getting caught.
Yeah, that was my dream for him this summer.
That was your prayer.
So I hate to see him come out just shredded, ready to get vengeance on Michigan.
And I'm a Michigan State fan, so I absolutely don't care, and I want to see Ohio State beat Michigan. So we have an equal alliance. But anyways, as he said, for the next 2 years, I promise you, I will not lose to him. I can't lose to them in the next 2 years. Again, coming from the best player in the country, he's a man of his word. I think he is. It's gonna be scary. So those 2 things right there. Not only was he the best wide receiver, one of the best players in college football last year as a freshman, he's coming back better than ever. A lot of people think sophomore slump. I disagree. We're going to talk about Julian Sayin in just a minute. But as well, I want to jump into if you like NCAA football, think of this: 98 ranking, Caleb Downs too, another Buckeye. But even being Ryan Williams, if you saw him play at Bama, electric, but not Jeremiah Smith. And so kudos to NCAA football, EA Sports for getting this right. I think it was a no-brainer.
Why is it not a 99? Like, who's watching him and be like, you know what, I think he could do this a little bit better. Better knock him to a 98.
You know what? If he was doing 25 reps at 225, we'd give him a 99. But yeah, it's just crazy to see. But as well, talking about Julian saying, Jeremiah Smith came out and he said his arm is different, and he can make every throw. He's just a smart quarterback. And so that is the type of stuff, especially coming off Will Howard. Will Howard, coming from Kansas State, did a great job for Ohio State, especially in the playoffs. Man,
he played great.
He played great. He didn't miss. Again, Ohio State's not the type of team that has a chip on their shoulder. I don't think a lot of, they're an elite blue blood program, obviously, in college football. But I think going into that playoff after losing to this guy's team over here, it was, hey, we've come to play. And they
You're
left
welcome.
No doubt. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Of course, taking credit.
Michigan gave him a
taking
chip.
credit. There's an asterisk next to Ohio State that says with
Wouldn't
Michigan.
have done it without Michigan making him mad.
For sure. But again, that's just I think that's good news. It's, as a Michigan State fan, it kills me because back during the Connor Cook days, it wasn't, after they lost Connor Cook and a lot of those great players, we don't reload. It doesn't work like that at Michigan State. Whereas Ohio State, Michigan, these bigger time programs, Alabama, Georgia, a lot of these teams reload and they're back at it. That's not Michigan State. Ohio State, I think people are like, they're going to take a step back. I don't think that's going to be the case.
They always have a 5-star ready to take over that job.
And specifically, I want to talk about Texas. So their first game, and if you watched our video the other day where we were talking about, we were talking about Ohio State, Michigan, recruits that they picked up. They both were after these recruits, and one got one got the other. If you didn't watch that, go ahead and watch that great video. But we broke down Ohio State's schedule and basically said, okay, what's their win-loss? And one that we talked about was Texas. Like, we're like, okay, that's probably going to be a loss. And honestly, after looking at it and reading into it, I don't know. Like, how is Arch Manning going to be? If Arch Manning was as good as everyone says he is, then wouldn't if he started in front of Quinn Ewers? And he didn't.
Yeah.
And Quinn Ewers, I'm going to be honest, he peaked probably his how many years was he at Texas? 3?
3, yeah.
So his second year at Texas, I feel like he peaked. A lot of people thought, okay, is he going to go to the draft? He didn't go to the draft. And a lot of people expected him at one point to be a first-round draft pick. And now, and then it was just kind of like, I don't even know where he ended up. Did he end up, is it the Colts? I can't even remember where the heck he ended up. But that being said, if Arch Manning is truly, as a lot of people say, God's gift to football, then shouldn't he been playing much more than he was last year? And as well, the Longhorns, Paul, aren't returning a lot of people.
No, they lost a lot. A lot of Arch. He's going to have almost a completely new offensive line compared to what Ewers had. Yeah, all new receivers.
Because you lost Isaiah Bond, you lost Matthew Golden, and then you lost Gunnar Helm, the tight end. So you lose a ton of players.
And they're reloading with a lot of 4 and 5 stars too, but they're not returning with Jeremiah Smith.
They're not returning with Jeremiah Smith. That is for sure. And I think it's the reload can be different when it's not a lot of these specialty players that are leaving. I'm not saying that you don't need a good offensive line, you don't need a good defensive line. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is they lost a lot of special players on that team. And Ohio State sure did too. Travion Henderson, he's gone.
Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah, Junkins.
Emeka Egbuka.
Right. So they lost a lot of people, as well as like a tried and true quarterback in Will Howard. So sure, but I don't know. I lean more towards Ohio State. I would like to look at the Vegas odds. I wish I would have brought that up. But I think as it gets closer, we love talking Vegas odds and sports betting, all this stuff. Paul, are you going to pull it up?
Yeah,
actually?
I'll pull it up real quick.
Paul will pull it up. But again, I think Ohio State has a great opportunity to beat Texas, surprise a lot of people. And then the toughest games down the road from there, if we jump right back onto that, is Penn State, which, you know, they always win. Illinois, I think, is that's a sneaky game at Champaign. Illinois returns basically everyone,
including a good QB.
Including a good QB. Brett Bielema, he's a great coach, though he didn't do great at Arkansas. He's proven that he can coach well in the Big Ten. Wisconsin, don't worry about Wisconsin. They're going to be trash. Penn State, Purdue's going to be trash. UCLA, they have Nico, but they'll be trash. Rutgers, trash. Michigan, I expect them to win that game because Jeremiah Smith said. Paul, what are the Vegas odds? Texas, Ohio State.
Vegas has Texas as a 3-point dog. They have Ohio State as the favorites. And honestly, thinking about it, if you're a team coming in with a bunch of sophomores and freshmen and new players, I'd much rather be the team at home.
Yeah.
Like the game's in Columbus, they're at least going to have the crowd on their side, no hostile environment. That's probably what the 3 points are there.
Yeah. I could see that. Well, I didn't ask a question at all today, but here's my question. What do you think about all this news on Jeremiah Smith as well? Texas, Ohio State, you're putting money on it today. Who do you have? Do you have the line, which would be Ohio State by 3? Money line, Ohio State straight up, or what the heck do you think?
I think I'm going Ohio State with the points.
Yeah, I go Ohio State with the points too. And that's coming from a Michigan fan, by the way. I would take Ohio State and the points. What would you do? Comment below. Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button. We'll talk later.
See ya.
Peace.